still be happy. You can do whatever you like. You don't have to be ready.
Hey cuties, and welcome back to part 2 of me sharing all of my female CC hairs I currently have in my game. As always, you can find links to everything in the description down below, and part 1 of this came out 2 weeks ago. I'll make sure to link the video right now if you are interested in watching that as well and have missed it. I shared like the first 220-ish hairstyles over there, so there is a lot, okay, because today we have another 237 to be exact, so we'll be here for a while to get through all of that. And if you've been here for a while, you should know the drill by now. Sit back, relax, grab a snack, grab a drink, grab whatever you need, maybe a whole meal to be comfy for the next 20 minutes, and let's get straight into this. I'm actually super stoked to be done with these like hairstyle CC showcases for now. We'll probably do an update at some point, obviously, because I keep adding and taking out hairs all like pretty much like every 2 weeks, because I do CC holds. I don't take out CC every 2 weeks because I'm a lot worse with that. I do love adding new things, do not love getting rid of old stuff. It's just kind of tedious work, I feel like, because you just have to go through everything. And then I also find it hard because sometimes I know I want a certain item in my game, like it happens with hairs, but also tops, not so much with makeup because I don't even have that much makeup, so I kind of know what I like and what I don't like. But with hairstyles, for example, I would have a ponytail like this and I'm like, okay, I definitely need to keep one ponytail because I love using them, especially for like active wear, sleep wear, but also formal wear. I think it's really nice to have just a sleek, just tight ponytail with not much detail to it. And then I'm like, okay, but I can't keep 20 of them, and then I keep forgetting how many I have and which ones I like best. I don't know, it's a whole deal. Like, it's so hard to get rid of it. But I think we mainly today actually have curly hairstyles, like longer curly hairstyles, which I'm so excited about. Also, I have mentioned this in some of my CC hauls. I definitely have favorite CC creators when it comes to hairstyles, and right now it is Sim's Trouble, because honestly every hairstyle they come up with recently, I mean, their hairstyles have always been amazing, just like outstanding, so gorgeous, but especially lately I feel like they just upped their game even more. Maybe it's because they've been creating CC for a long time and they've like advanced as a creative person, I don't know, but it's just the styles currently are so good because there's so much detail as well. I love maxis match hairs that also have a few strands peeking out on the sides, and I feel like especially wavy or curly long hairstyles are so good for it because it just looks so much more natural, and I don't know, it's just so pretty. It does something to my brain. Like, I just love looking at it, and all of the recent hairstyles were so good. I'm like so hyped because next week it's time for another CC haul. I haven't done one in my time. For you I did one last week, but in my time, because I pre-recorded for the holiday that I went on last week, in my time I haven't been CC shopping in too long. I love going CC shopping, like it's just so good because it like gives you so many endorphins for like not a lot of work, I guess. It's just nice, and you don't, it's not like when you go shopping for yourself where you might feel guilty after for having spent too much money, or you receive the items if you go online shopping and then they don't fit and you have to send them back and it's annoying. It's just nice. You get it, you have it in your game, you get to dress up your Sims. It's just so much fun. I also actually love using my Sims as like outfit inspo, if that makes sense, because sometimes I find it hard to envision things. Like, I don't think I have necessarily the best like visual memory or imagination. Like, I find it hard sometimes to visualize what things would look like, even though it usually turns out well, to be honest. Like, when I think about something, an outfit or whatever, and I try it out on my Sims, I'm like, actually this looks good. Like, it barely ever happens where I do something and it looks awful. I think it's probably because like aesthetic is always really important to me. I find it so funny because there's definitely a lot of different people when it comes to aesthetic. I feel like a lot of people just prefer function over aesthetic or fashion, whatever you want to call it. I myself would not use something that's functional if it was ugly. It's quite hindering in certain aspects of life, but in general, I do not like things that don't look pretty to me. And I love when things are like aesthetically pleasing, and that also matters a lot to me, not just in outfits, but also how people decorate their homes. And I feel like you can really tell if you walk into someone's home if they're a person who just loves or has like a good aesthetic eye and knows what things look good together, or if they're just kind of either don't care or they're not good with it. I can notice immediately, because I'm like, this looks so awkward. Why is this just in, you know, in this corner and there's nothing else? You know, like it's just small things like that. I'm like, this doesn't make sense. It shouldn't be like that. And I, therefore, like when I redecorated my room, because I've lived in the same apartment my whole life. I mean, I was gone after I did my A-levels. Just before I went to uni, I actually went to America for a bit, and then I also, when I was younger, my parents split up, so I half lived at my dad's and half lived at my mum's. But this apartment here is, funny enough, the apartment I was born in as well. It's so funny because like births, so like where you give birth is so different varying on where you live, because I think, for example, where my boyfriend lives in the UK, it's like so unusual to not have your baby at a hospital. And I feel like here where I live, especially in capital cities, maybe, I mean, still a lot of people go to the hospital, don't get me wrong, but there's also these places we call birth houses or birth homes. I asked my boyfriend about it, and they, like he said, as far as he knows, they don't have anything like it. But for us, it's pretty much just like not really a hospital, but like just an institution, just a building where it's only midwives that work there, and the only thing they do is like accompany, is that what we should say? I don't know, accompany women during their birth process. So like you call in when you are going into labor, and then you go there and they help you have the baby. But it's all midwives, and usually they have really good connections to hospitals, so in case you do need to go to the hospital because something is going on, you can, and it's like connected and they know everything already, you know. Like it's, I feel like it's quite comforting, because I was born at home, and if everything goes according to plan for me when I'm pregnant once, I would love to give birth at home with a midwife. Obviously my mom wasn't by herself. I think that is a little bit scary, and also kind of irresponsible, because you never know, like you're not unless you are an expert on birth, you have no idea what's going on really. And if you give birth, I feel like it's also overwhelming to have to pay attention to all of these things. Like it's probably tough enough to give birth, you don't need to also pay attention to certain signs that might mean you have to go into hospital. But I would love to just have a midwife. That's how I was born, just with a midwife at home. Apparently my grandma was there as well. I don't know if I'd want anyone else there but my partner, but we'll see. Like I could not imagine my mum being there. I feel like that would just be mayhem. It's not gonna happen. Sorry, mom. It's not gonna happen. But yeah, I think it's so interesting how people have births in different places. How did we even get here? Like, what got us here? How? I generally, usually, once I think about it for a little bit, I can kind of find the silver lining again and kind of know where we came from. But right now, I'm absolutely clueless. It was something about, oh, the apartment. Hey, I got it. Never mind. I didn't sleep much. Can you tell? I feel like I'm usually all over the place in these voiceovers, which I'm sorry if that stresses you out. That's just me as a person. I'm all over the place. Like silver linings, who? It doesn't happen. But I have lived in the same apartment my whole life. Like, apart from those times that I said where I lived somewhere else, or where I lived half with my dad, half with my mum, because they split up when I was 5, I have lived here my whole life. And my parents moved out because it is on like an apartment on the 4th floor, and it doesn't have an elevator. So for them now getting older, it is gonna be annoying. I mean, they would still be able to. They're a lot more fit than me. They cycle so much. When we went on holiday, it was insane because we had these rental bikes, which it was a whole issue in itself, because my sister got one that was really bad. I got one that felt really weird, and then my parents went to the bike shop and they were like, oh yeah, this thing is actually broken. And I was like, oh cool. I've been riding around with this for 2 days or something at that point. But I had a bike at the end that was fine. It's scary to me because the bike I use is way too small for me, but I prefer that. It is annoying, especially if you ride around with people who have a proper adult bike, because it's so much easier. If you have bigger wheels as an adult, obviously, you go further without using as much of your energy. And my bike, I always pedal like 3 times as much as everyone and don't get anywhere because I have these small wheels. But I'm a really bad cyclist, okay? I don't even know how to fix this, but I'm a bad cyclist. I cycle to a lot of places, but I'm still bad at it. I don't know. I can't really take like very sharp curves. That scares me. I will fall off of my bike. I'm just not very aware when I'm on my bike. I'm a good driver when it comes to cars, so I don't know what happens to me on a bike, but I don't like it. And my mum has her saddle so far up that you literally, when you sit on your saddle and you want to get off the bike, you need to lean your bike to the side because otherwise your foot won't reach the floor, and that is something that terrifies me. And I don't think it's normal because she says that's how it's supposed to be, but none of us other people had to do that. Like, you could just lean a tiny bit and reach the floor, but she's literally like jumping on and off of these bikes, and it's scary to me. I don't like it. I said that in one of the videos before, I hurt my foot. I don't know if I broke my little toe or something in between the 2 toes, but something was bad. It was really swollen for 2 days and then it hurt, and on vacation it was still kind of, it's all better now. It's all fine. I can move them fine, so we're good. We're in the clear. But when we were on vacation, it was still kind of hurting, and I was like, I don't want to have to jump off of my bike onto my toes if they're still hurting. It felt scary, okay? And it was the funniest thing because some of these bikes had like an auto thing. I don't even know what you call them. I forgot what we call them in Germany as well. Like, you have I also said saddle. I feel like I always call it a saddle, but I think it's just a seat. And I always think of saddle because of what we call it. I think it's just a bike seat. So I think I did that wrong. My bad. But when you have a seat, there is either just a little hole that you need a specific key for to move the seat, move the seat up and down. But some of them had these like just not auto ones, but the ones like you didn't need a tool for it, so you could just like move this little leverage thing and then move the seat up and then put it back in place to make it secure. Don't know how else to explain it. There's just this little lever on it and you could like move it, but mine didn't have it. And it's the funniest thing because my boyfriend brought such little luggage because he obviously had to fly here from the UK, so he didn't bring a lot of stuff, and I had a huge suitcase. I'm not gonna get into it. I don't know how it happened, but I just brought a huge suitcase for a week of holiday. When I go to my boyfriend, I'm there for 2 weeks and I have a hand luggage. I don't know. How did I do that? God knows. I don't. But had to bring a huge suitcase. He didn't. He had all of this, like just a tiny suitcase, and he had every single tool we needed during that vacation. And that just proves the point that me and my boyfriend are from different planets. He is Mr. Prepared. Like, he literally has something for everything. He had a tool to move my bike seat up and down. Where did he get it from? I don't know. He just has everything. My stepdad wore some flip-flops, and I don't know, they came out of the sole. So there's like a sole and then like weird stuff on top and then the flip-flop, and it kind of like started coming off of the sole. And my boyfriend had a glue stick with him. Why? I don't know, but he brought a flipping glue stick with him on vacation. So he just heated up the glue stick and then stuck my stepdad's shoe back together. And it was just so funny. And my mom, it's really sweet because my mom's English and my stepdad's English is not good. It stresses me out so much because they talk to my boyfriend and just say all of these random words that they like loosely translate that make no sense, or they say these German sayings in between that my boyfriend will have no clue of understanding. And I think they heavily just rely on me translating everything, but it gets frustrating because they just use all of these sayings where I'm like, babe, I don't know how to explain this to you. It's just a saying. Like, it doesn't mean anything. Or sometimes it stresses me out because they say something in English when they have no idea what any of the words that they want to say are in English. And it just takes forever. Instead of just saying the sentence in German and letting me translate, they try it 10 times in English. And I don't understand anything because I don't know what they're getting at. I don't know the words they're using because they're not actual words. And then I'm always like, just say what you mean in German. I will translate. But my mom does the funniest thing where like she calls my boyfriend weird things. So for the whole holiday, she called him a survivalist man. Not a survival man, I think she called him survivalist man or something. It was funny, it was cute, and it was quite accurate because he had a tool for every situation. And like I said, that proves that we're from different planets because I brought a whole suitcase of stuff, yet managed to not bring jeans with me. I don't know. Let that sink in. How did that happen? I had a huge suitcase. It looks like I'm going on a 3-week vacation. Meanwhile, we're gone for 1 week. 2 of those are travel days. So what would I realistically need? I also brought bikinis, which I shouldn't have brought because there was no way we're gonna go for a swim. Like the ocean that we went to isn't for swimming. But my mom was so stressed. She's like, make sure to bring bathing suits. And I read it and I was like, I'm not gonna need a bathing suit. Yet I brought like 3 different bathing suits because I also outgrew them. The tops don't fit anymore. I don't know. It's weird because when you get older, I feel like I never knew that until I got older, but the fat distribution in your body, I don't know if it's only women or also men, but I think also men, the fat distribution in your body just changes. Like it moves to different areas that it wasn't in before. So when I was younger, when I was like a teen and up to like pretty much 25, I never had a belly. Like I could do anything. I could gain as much weight as I never have, but my belly would always stay slim. And now I have this tiny little, it's not a big belly, but it's this tiny little belly just underneath my belly button, and no matter what I do, like if I eat healthy, if I work out, it's just there to stay. And that is because, and it's fine, like don't get me wrong, it's fine, I don't really care, but it's because the fat distribution in your body changes when you get older. So a lot of it went to my bobs apparently. I like to call boobies bobs. It's just I don't know, a little something I do. Just don't question it, just take it as it is. So it went to the bobs. So I tried on a few bikini tops when my boyfriend was here and I was like, what happened? Like, I'm not going for the underboob look. Like, this is not supposed to happen. So I brought 3 different ones because I was like, maybe they'll fit into one of them, you know, eventually. Who knows? I don't know what I was thinking. I brought all of them. I didn't need them. And I didn't bring jeans. And it was cold on certain days. I mean, it was usually nice, but there were like 2 days, especially like towards the end, where it got rainy. It was also annoying because it was in an Airbnb that we stayed, and the people who owned the Airbnb told my stepdad originally that we could stay until 12, I think it was, and then leave. And we were just getting everything ready and, you know, to move and like do all the dishes, clean up a few minor things so the cleaning person who came in didn't have to do like loads. So we like got all of the sheets off of the beds, stuff like that, you know. And all of a sudden the cleaning woman comes in. I'm like, what is going on? And apparently she hasn't been told that we were allowed to stay longer, and the owner of the Airbnb kind of just messed it up as well because there was a new family coming, I think around 4 p.m. So we couldn't have stayed until 12 because that poor lady wouldn't have gotten done with that house in 4 hours, you know. And it was a lot. I mean, she was the nicest person ever. It's so interesting. All of the cleaning people I've met so far are always the nicest people ever. What is up with that? I don't know, but she was so nice and she was really cute as well. So she like agreed with us that we could stay until like 11, I think, and she started like in the back of the house so we could still use the bathrooms and then the kitchen, and that was fine. But it was kind of stressful, to be honest, because I was still doing my makeup when she came in. I was like, no, I'm not going on like a super long train journey looking like a fool. Because I get very self-conscious. I mean, you might think, I think a lot of people when they travel, they don't care about looking crazy, but I do. I don't want to look absolutely wasted when I go traveling for 6 hours. It's kind of a weird thing I have. But anyways, we are getting closer to the end of the video. I don't know what have we talked about this whole time? Like, I always get so worried when I have long voiceovers that I will run out of things to say, but I didn't even get into any of the stuff I was going to tell you about my vacation yet. So I don't know what I talked about, but I hope it was good. So hope you enjoyed it. I also hope you liked all of the hairstyles that I showed off. If you are still here, props to you. You did so well. Let me know what you would like to see me show off next in these CC showcases or collection videos. And yeah, with that said, I hope you enjoyed the video, and if you did, please don't forget to leave a like, comment and subscribe if you have not already, and I will see you all next time. Bye!
Once more into the fire, once more into the burning flames, once more into the fray.